Hello, I hope you're well. My name's Jack, and today we're going to be talking about the time that I jammed with Rob Chapman. For those of you who don't know, Rob Chapman is a guitar player, YouTuber, famous for doing YouTube demonstrations and reviews, as well as being in his own respective original bands and projects. He's fairly big in the guitar world, not to mention he owns a guitar company as well. I want to talk about a couple of stories that I have of Rob about the two times that I met him. And he won't remember these, but these are definitely moments that stick out in my head and they're fond memories for me. So in England, we have something called the Guitar Show, which is like the Comic-Con for guitars, where there's lots of stalls of people selling guitars and accessories and that kind of thing. And in the northeast of England where I live, there was the Northeast Guitar Show, which was, I think, twice a year, one in the summer and one in the winter. And me and my dad went to all of them, like religiously. We went to every one. And this was 2013 maybe, I think, something like that. And I saw on the poster for the event that Chapman Guitars was going to be there. And I mean, I loved Rob. I still do. I still watch all of his videos. But I remember being like 14, 15, I was like obsessed. And I was like, oh my God, Rob Chapman's going to be there, you know? So this guitar show was at the Newcastle racecourse, I think. And we get there and immediately I see the Chapman Guitars stall and I run over, and it's Rabea Masad and Rob Chapman are both talking to these guys, and I didn't want to interrupt. I didn't want to be rude, and so I kind of just stood there, but it possibly looked like I was staring a little bit, and Rabea spotted me and said, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And at that point Rob turned around and I just said, "Hey, I'm a huge fan." And before I could say anything else, he gave me a hug. And I remember it as well. It's when he had his dreadlocks. The thing I remember most about that hug was feeling his dreadlocks behind him, which is a bit weird, but yeah, it was cool. Anyway, the day went on, we looked around the other stalls and stuff, but we kind of circled back to Chapman towards the end of the day. Rob was kind of demonstrating some of the guitars, and I picked up one. It was a bit like dueling banjos. We kind of looked at each other and we sort of, knew. And we jammed. We kind of just had this blues jam, which is online somewhere, but I'll put a video right here. My hair is terrible in that video, and I don't think my playing's particularly brilliant either, but hey ho. But what I loved about that was that, for being a bit of a fanboy around him, I guess, he was so welcoming and so kind, and, he wanted to jam. So that was my first time meeting Rob. The second time was probably about 3 or 4 years later. Newcastle College, which is where I went to study music, was doing a competition with D'Addario to win tickets to a Dorje gig, which is one of the bands that Rob Chapman is in. And it was a venue in Sunderland. And to enter the competition, you had to post a status on Facebook as to why you wanted to go. I'll put it here, what I said, but the gist of it was about how I'd never gotten to see them before, for whatever reason. And I also put the video of me and Rob jamming as well, and Elaine from D'Addario got in contact and said, yeah, you've got the tickets, you and a friend. And a bunch of us were already going and already had like the VIP tickets as well, like the meet and greet stuff. So I gave my tickets to some friends, and me and another friend used the competition tickets. We rock up early for the meet and greet, and this guy comes out of the venue and says, have you got any ID on you? And I was like, well, I've got my provisional license, but I'm 17. And he's like, well, you're not coming in. I was like, oh, okay. Turns out it was an 18 plus venue. I didn't know that at the time. I knew that they did like club nights and stuff, and I assumed that was, 18 plus, but it was just a venue, like a gig venue, But no one told anybody. No one knew that it was an 18 plus venue. But at that moment, Rob and the band came out. I kind of ran towards him and I was like, oh, thank God you're here, Rob, He said, oh, dude, chill, what's up? And I said, they're not going to let us in because we're under 18. We're the competition winners from D'Addario. He's like, right, I'll sort this. And he basically said to the owner or the promoter or whoever, either you let these guys in or we're not playing. And they let us in and they played a great show. So those are my two stories about Rob, both fantastic experiences from a guitar player point of view and a fan point of view. And I guess the reason I wanted to talk about it was because over the past couple of years there's definitely been some controversy surrounding Rob. I'm sure people have seen the videos of people perhaps calling him out on a few things. Even though my opinion isn't exactly the most important, I would say that both times I met Rob, he was very welcoming and sincere and kind, and he just seemed like a really good person. So to me, my opinion on him hasn't changed. I don't know, I just felt really welcomed by him. I mean, even at the meet and greet, there was people there who were talking to the band. It wasn't necessarily about guitars, it was, you know, there was a guy there, it'd be really funny if he's watching, there was a guy there who had Marvel tattoos of like the Captain America shield and stuff, and him and Rob were talking about tattoos and Captain America. It just kind of felt like we were around friends. But yes, those are my 2 stories about Rob Chapman. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a like and maybe subscribe if you fancy. I've got a few more stories to tell if people are interested. I'll probably make a bit of a series of them. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.